I'm going to be honest, chat. Listen, okay. I think that there is an acceptable level of paranoia that you're allowed to have at any given moment, as long as that paranoia doesn't impact your ability to live a normal life, right? Normal here just being, you don't have all these restrictions in your life. So I've known I've had friends of friends who were big anti-government people, and I'm going to be honest, they're some of the most entertaining people to know. Oh my God. Because they will tell you, oh, I recently got rid of my phone. Like I'm changing all my information online. I don't have an email anymore. It's amazing. It's fucked up because like that's paranoia that's ruining your life. Like you are unable to live a normal life if you're at the point where you're trying your hardest to be a sovereign citizen to the point where again you like don't have a smartphone. Like also realistically, you're kind of fucked on data and privacy. It's cooked. You're cooked on that. Okay, you are cooked. Eddy Burback, no, he did it for a funny prank video. But anyways, not prank video. He did it for a funny video. Although I do want to watch that video. You're friends with Dale from King of the Hill? No, I had a friend who their friend was one of these people. But anyways, do I like that Google steals all my information and data? No. Do I like that Facebook probably has all my information? No. Is it feasible for me to do like a full wipe and start living off the grid? No, it's just not feasible. It's not. What does this mean? The world we live in, if you think not having a smartphone is being cooked, is crazy or crazy? Huh? Hey man, come over to the function. Yeah, I'll send you the address. What do you mean you don't have Google Maps? You'll navigate somehow without it. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see you when we see you. Hey, can you open that email I sent you? You can't. Oh, okay. You realize not having a smartphone makes your life way more annoying, right? Like it makes your ability to do things 10 times harder than other people. Like it's so stupid. Anyways, whatever. It's the dumb hill to die on. Dumb hill to die on, excuse me. These kids these days know nothing about MapQuest. Oh God. Eddy did a great video on that. Actually, do you guys want to watch that video? We could take a little peek into it. I've been wanting to watch it for forever. I wanted to save it for like a Sunday fun day, but we just haven't had the time to. Dude, I was so pissed. I tried to reach him at a time when his phone wasn't fucking working, when he wasn't using his phone. And I was like, wow, rude, no reply, damn.
A few weeks ago,
And then I spoke to a friend of his and they were like, he's not using his phone at all. I was like, oh, okay. Because he's doing some stupid challenge.
Scrolling through Twitter, an app that I hate, wasting my time, when I came across this post. FaZe Sway's GF, Alina Rose, gifted one of the guys her used panties during the Bop House 5v1 stream with Vex Bolts. Now, I only recognize, I think, one word from that sentence, and it's the word panties, and it made me realize something. I hate my phone. I am constantly using my phone to see things that I don't want to see. Over the last few years, it has become increasingly unfun to use this thing. So why do I keep using it? Apps and social media have gotten much better at drawing me in, but lately I'll break out of my screen time feeling like nothing of value happened. I feel like a lab rat incentivized by cheese. But instead of delicious cheese, I'm being fed dorky-ass clips of Elon Musk. It's embarrassing. Not embarrassed? Next time you get sucked into your phone, tell the next person you see everything you were up to for a full hour of screen time. Okay, so my friend sent me this Instagram reel of a screenshot of a tweet about Drake playing Fortnite with Ninja in 2018. And then I just sort of kept scrolling through reels for an hour, but, I don't remember any of them. Like a lot of people my age, my smartphone has attached itself to nearly every aspect of my daily life. And it's really starting to make me feel like it's having a negative effect on me. But most people like me that daydream about getting rid of their phone just can't. Their job requires it. They have kids. They have to keep up with their Balatro addiction. But I don't have a real job. I don't have kids. I deleted Balatro because I played it on the toilet too much. And then it hit me. I could be a lab rat, but in an experiment about getting rid of my phone. In 2025, what does it look like for someone in their late 20s living in a major city to completely get rid of their cell phone? Well, I'm going to find that out because over the next month, I will be locking my phone in this safe and I will not be opening it. So, without further ado, let's find out together. I actually didn't do any prep for what I'm going to replace my phone with. Okay, actually, we need to do this tomorrow, so. Now it's beeping. Now, obviously, a phone these days is a lot more than just a phone. But everyone in this day and age needs a telephone. Many people who ditch their smartphone these days go with an old flip phone, now referred to as a dumb phone. But I got a flip phone to keep in contact with my parents when I was out riding bikes at 12 years old. So for the majority of my life, I've had a device in my pocket that makes me reachable at all times. I want to experience what life was like before the cell phone. So I went even older and began looking into getting a landline. Luckily, this was pretty simple.
Which, by the way, I'm sure he's going to say it. It's like impossible to get a landline.
Some major phone companies, for some reason, still offer a landline service. But
Like
what
with traditional companies that used to offer landlines, once you get rid of it, you can't get rid of it.
landline should I choose? There were so many decades and styles to choose from. I could go wireless. I could go with an old rotary. I could keep it to the classics, like Sleeping Goofy, M&M's Hanging Out, or Pooh. After weighing all of my options, I finally decided on a mix of everything. A corded landline that still had an answering machine and caller ID. Oh, a landline with an answering machine is not old school enough for you? That's too much.
Sorry, I was talking about if you had a landline with like T-Mobile, for example, all of the major phone companies, if you had a landline with them, once you got rid of it, once you canceled it, it was gone. I remember when my family got rid of theirs and they decided they wanted it back, it was basically impossible. I guess now there's a lot of companies maybe that are providing it now. Because I guess now you can just turn your cell phone into a landline.
Much new tech. Well, my ass got a Rolodex to pair with it. Now, if you're somebody whose knees still don't hurt, a Rolodex is basically your contact app, but on this fun little spinny wheel. So I spent an hour of my day just sitting down and copying my contacts from my iPhone onto different Rolodex cards to make sure that I had the number of everyone I needed to call over the next month. But I don't want to just call everyone. I want everyone to call me. I want to be popular. Whoa. So I posted my landline number on my close friend's Instagram story to inform people in my life that I wouldn't have my phone. But not everyone in my life is on my close friend's Instagram.
Also, I don't go on Instagram. Also, a lot of people don't. Yeah.
Some don't have Instagram at all, and some are finding out just now that they're not on my close friends list. So I began texting people in my life the information as well. Other than a telephone, I use my phone as a tool for many aspects of my life. I began replacing as much as I could think of with alternatives. I filled out a physical calendar. I got notebooks and pens to replace my notepad app. Grabbed a film camera to take photos with. Every morning, I set an alarm, so I replaced it with an old-fashioned alarm clock. Oh, man, that's gonna piss me off. Why didn't I get a digital alarm clock? I'm getting rid of my phone, not becoming Ebenezer Scrooge. Also, just in case of any major text that I may miss, I hooked up my iMessage to an old laptop Chrissy had, but being able to check texts all the time felt like cheating. So I bought this chess clock and decided I would only be able to clock in 5 total minutes checking text the entire month. Wait, this thing takes C batteries? Okay, I'm not gonna use the laptop until I can get some C batteries then. There was so much to replace, but there's one I chose not to. I use my Apple Watch daily for fitness statistics. But honestly, I don't really need it to exercise. I just have to find the willpower to hit my goals without closing these colorful rings. When I got the watch, it felt like a super useful upgrade to my life, but I quickly realized that my phone was now on my wrist at all times. Sometimes even sending ads for Yelp or Postmates to my own arm. So I don't know how much I'll miss this thing. Except for Snoopy. I will miss you, Snoopy. I'm sorry I'm putting you in a box. Lastly, I replaced the iPhone's video camera with a Sony camcorder. Looking at all the items that would replace my phone sprawled out on the floor, I decided I was prepared enough to begin. It was mid-afternoon by the time I started, so I decided to check if I had any calls or messages on my landline. I had posted and sent the number to almost everyone I know, so I was sure there was a ton of missed calls and voicemails to listen to.
Wednesday, 1:04 p.m.
Hi, Eddie. It's Mom. I'm just calling to see if your phone works. You don't have to call me back. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
End of messages.
Within a few minutes, I came across the first minor hurdle of not having a smartphone on me. After checking my email on my computer, I saw that there was a package down in my mailroom. Now usually, to unlock the mailroom lockers, I open an email on my phone and scan a barcode. But luckily, they also provide a numeric code to put into a keypad. So I grabbed a notepad and I wrote the code down. We're not talking about the Notepad app here. I mean, I put a pen to paper, like a soldier in World War II.
You gotta delete this. You gotta delete this, Eddie. How are you not just memorizing the 6 digits and going down? What the hell?
Letter home to his girlfriend,
No.
who has now taken his spot on a Major League Baseball team. Or I think that's what it was like. Honestly, the only war movie I've seen is A League of Their Own. Hello, Eddie from the future here. This is absolutely the last thing that I'm editing, and I have not seen this footage until now. So on the first day, I walked out of the apartment, Chrissy changed the code to the safe, wrote it down, left for her apartment, and I asked her to hide it in a place I'd never check. And apparently she put it in a case of Black Ops 2, but under a disc of Jingle All the Way 2. I don't even know where she got this movie.
Dude, I love Chrissy.
I don't even know why she has Black Ops. For over a decade, my iPhone has been an extension of my body, an extra limb that connects me to the world of the internet. So the first few hours with that limb severed had me feeling its phantom in my pocket. I decided to start keeping a tally in a notepad every time I felt compelled to reach for or check it. And within those first few hours, I realized something. I was bored. Truly bored. It was rainy in LA, I had finished working for the day, and didn't have everything ever made and everyone I've ever known at my disposal to fill the void. It hit me that the other times where my phone has died, or moments where I've intentionally put it away, my phone has not allowed me a true sense of boredom for the majority of my adult life. And the rest of the first day,
I'm not even gonna cap, guys. I'm surprised more people don't do something similar to this. I have, I'm not addicted to my phone, thankfully. Thank fucking God, dude. Oh my God. Because I know friends who are, they are addicted to their phone. They are addicted. And, dude, sometimes people will post their like screen time usage. Let me see if I can find it. I think my screen time usage. I use it. Let's see, daily average. 4 hours daily average, which is still a lot. Admittedly, that's still a lot. I guess I've been using it more lately because the last time I checked it, it was like 2 hours a day. That is still a lot. But I use like the first 30 minutes. I scroll Twitter on my phone when I wake up. It helps me wake up. Then I scroll it before I go to bed, which I know is not healthy, but I know I do that. The real problem is that I'm addicted to my computer. I'm not claiming to be better, guys, to be very clear. I'm addicted to my computer. That's why my phone hours aren't that bad. what the fuck? 4 hours? I'm at like 10 because I have Twitch in the... Okay, see? So to be very clear, it's just that instead of using my phone, I use my computer because I hate typing on my phone. This is why I don't reply to texts ever, because I'm like, oh my God, just give me my keyboard. With that said, I'm happy that I'm not addicted to my phone, because when you're addicted to your phone, getting away from your phone is really hard. Whereas when I want to be productive, what I do is I tell myself, okay, I'm not allowed to sit on the computer at all. If I have anything important, someone will call me or text me about it. And so like I'll scroll for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour tops. And I'm like, I'm so bored. And then I eventually get so bored just sitting there because my phone is boring, because you can only scroll Twitter for so long. I don't use Instagram. I literally don't use anything else. I check Discord. No one sent me any messages. I'm like, okay. I like send some messages, you know, like, hey, what's up? No reply. It's like, okay, well, guess I'll just sit here. And then eventually I get bored enough that I end up getting up and doing stuff. I'm like, oh, this is dumb. I'm just going to go cook some fucking meal prep or something. Maybe I'll clean or something. Which I will say, not being addicted to your phone is amazing, because all you have to do is turn off your computer and be like, I'm not allowed to use my computer until 2 p.m. Until 7 p.m. And you do get bored. You get bored. You're like, what to do? Okay. Wait, did Sam say no debate? Wait, can you post a link to that scythe line? Hold up. Anywho, I feel bad for people addicted to their phone, because you can't really like reasonably get rid of your phone. You can turn off all notifications except phone calls and text messages, but some people spend a lot of time texting a day. So like getting rid of your phone is really hard.
Was really nice. I enjoyed the silence. We ended the night watching the movie Flow, which I absolutely loved, highly recommend. And while I never check my phone during a movie, not getting a vibration or needing to put it on Do Not Disturb felt great. And since I can use my computer, I decided to still log it on Letterboxd. But when I walked away from it for bed, that was it. No more internet for the night.
Oh, one of Sam Cedar's mods said next week. Oh, okay. Wake up, Ethan.
Why did I put it so high up? The next day was an adjustment getting used to the silence, but I was already seeing benefits. Turns out it's easier to get up out of bed and go to the grocery store when you don't waste your first 30 minutes scrolling through Twitter. Or if you're experiencing one of your lowest lows, Reddit. Ooh, shivers down my spine just thinking about it. Oh, by the way, last night Chrissy and I had pasta, sausage, and Trader Joe's cheesy creamy greens and veggies. So if anyone wants these leftovers, they are 1 month old at the time of posting, and I will not give you my address. So let me know if you're interested. I also got the C batteries for the chest clock, so now I have a working chest clock and 8 C batteries that will sit in my drawer forever. Later that week, a few friends and I had planned to see Mickey 17. Last week, I offered to organize getting the tickets myself, forgetting that my phone would be locked in a box. Normally, as an AMC A-list member, I reserve the ticket on the app, show up, present my QR code to the greeter to be scanned, and suddenly I'm in. Now, obviously, I know that a cell phone is not the only way you can get into a movie theater. I worked at an AMC when I was 19. If you were at the AMC Streets of Woodfield in 2016, there's a solid chance your ticket stub was ripped by me. But I wasn't sure what the process was anymore. Part of my job used to be selling tickets, but due to online and mobile sales, that job seems to have been phased out after quarantine. So I went to the AMC website, saved my ticket QR code, and sent an email of it to Staples so I could print it with a code at one of their printers. I then wrote down the Staples code along with my ticket confirmation as a backup. Is this overkill? Probably, but if for some reason I couldn't prove my purchase, I'd be ruining the whole night for my friends. So I headed over to Staples, and after inputting the code from my notepad, Look at him, my beautiful boy.
Okay, I'm sorry. As someone who didn't have a printer for a little bit, I went ahead, I bought a home printer. It was like $200. It's a toner printer. It prints in color. And I've never regretted that purchase. And I haven't bought new toner. Whatever you do, if you have a home printer, and unless you work a more officey job, make sure you get a toner printer. Okay. And I've had it now for like 4 years or something. And it's amazing. Okay. Because I only print like basically shipping labels for when I'm returning packages I don't want anymore. And my family had an inkjet growing up, and it was the worst thing on the planet. Because every other month it'd be like, the inkjet is dry. Toner is amazing. Okay. It is amazing. I've had the same toner cartridge because, again, I don't print that much stuff. I've had the same toner cartridge for the past like 2, 3, or 4 years. It's amazing. Inkjet is quite literally a scam. Again, I literally Googled cheapest printer color toner, and it was like $200. I've never regretted it.
Boy, my pride and joy. Be honest, if your job was scanning QR codes, would you trust one sitting on a blank page like this? During our drinks before, I was beaming with excitement to use my QR. Look at how proud I am of it. But I had no idea what was waiting for me in the theater. Now, fortunately for me, and unfortunately for labor everywhere, the AMC ticket sales employees have been replaced by kiosks. So I headed there to scan my QR code instead of the greeter because I got nervous.
Did you guys see?
Disaster 1. I froze the machine.
Broke
I was
it?
confused. I clicked the keypad and I think I broke it, so I think I'll have to.
Luckily, there was an open machine next to me, so I made a quick recovery only for Disaster 2. My QR code was printed so inconveniently that it wouldn't fit in the scanner. I desperately folded the paper as my friends waited on me for their tickets. And it just wouldn't scan.
Yeah? Or alone?
You just cut to home. Yeah, we missed the movie. This is not working.
My baby boy was a disappointment. But you could just use the credit card you bought the tickets with. So I didn't need to do any of this. Didn't need a phone and could have just shown up with my credit card. Okay, so there are minor inconveniences like writing things down or bringing my credit card. But I wanted to know what it was like to traverse a city without my phone.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That is amazing. It's a phone screen scanner, not a paper scanner, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if also like the size of the QR code is different when it's on your phone. Because I'm pretty sure on the phone it's like massive. That was...
This morning, I woke up to a massive dropping of bird shit on my bathroom window, which is gross. But hey, without the phone, it's something new to look at while I'm on the toilet, I guess. It's no secret why someone in this day and age may begin to resent their phone. But one of my main motivators to give this a try may surprise you. A few months ago, Chrissy and I binged through all of Sex and the City. We watched through every season, movie, and even the new series on HBO Max. Max. Fuck, sorry. Now, other than having a blast with the girls and being a big hater to my core, there was one aspect of the show that I just couldn't shake.
Well, laugh. It's a joke.
No, not that. Sorry.
Get it while it's hot.
Not that either. Man, I gotta text my editor. But I don't have a cell phone. And my editor's me, so he doesn't have a cell phone either. Gonna be tough. The show starts with Carrie in her early 30s. But even though I'm a young 28, not even fucking close to 30, the era of life that Carrie, Samantha, Miranda, and Charlotte are in is pretty similar to mine. The one glaring difference, other than being in LA instead of New York, is their lifestyles without smartphones and social media impacting it. Of course, this isn't a staple of the show, but the times the show belonged to. The new series has to adapt to our new world just like we do. Carrie is a podcaster. She tweets. Everyone uses their smartphones. But even though I was always aware that times had changed, it didn't feel so drastic until I watched the original show. No dating apps, no creating a second version of yourself online for the world to perceive. On a night in, Carrie writes, Miranda watches TV, Charlotte reads either the Old Testament or the New Testament, depending on what season you watch, and Samantha gets laid. They don't pull out a little computer that shows them what everyone they've ever met is up to at that exact moment. Charlotte doesn't.
This is my most boomer take. My biggest pet peeve on the planet is people who are always on their phone when you're talking to them in person. I get sometimes you have like an emergency text. Sometimes someone's saying like, because I've had it happen to me where someone's like, disaster, code red, I'm going to kill myself. I need your help right now. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. Let me just call them really quickly. Okay. Jesus. Sometimes that happens, but when it's every time, then I've had people in my life where every time I hang out with them, they always have to spend at least 20% of the hangout on their phone. And it's like, you're just ADHDing. You're just using me to stim. You're using me for land development. I'm just here. I am just your Subway Surfers. I am just your fucking Family Guy clip on the side. You're here to scroll your phone with something else on the side, and that's what I am. Oh my God. And eventually I have to stop hanging out with them because it's just too brutal for me. I can't. I can't. I will die on this hill. I hate when people do that shit. When there isn't like a, sorry, I need to get this text or I need to get this call. It's like a, no, I know that's what I'm saying. And they're like listening. It's just annoying. It's just annoying to me. Like they respond in full. They hear everything I say. But like they have to have their phone. I'm like, why? 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 I hate this. I hate this so much. But anyways.
Do the dishes with her AirPods in, catching up on the Twitter drama between the richest man in the world and Hassan Piker. Samantha doesn't watch the Costco guys on Fortnite Friday.
I mean, if it's something that we really like a lot, that's 5 big booms. Something we're not that crazy about could go down to 1 and then anywhere in between.
What? Of course.
And they also call each other for plans. They don't use a GPS.
Boom,
they agree on a time to meet somewhere, and then they just like hope that it all works out. And that's what struck me most of all. It was the intentionality in making plans and navigating a city. If you're older watching this, feel free to roll your eyes, because this was what the world was like until very recently. But because I'm such a young, fresh 28-year-old, I have never in my life made adult plans without the convenience of a smartphone. If I want to drive or Uber somewhere, I don't really need to know where to go because the GPS will handle it. If I want to take public transit, my phone will give me live details on what to do. If I'm running late, I can text and update the person. I have Google at my fingertips to answer any question that I could ever think of. So what do I actually do when I make plans? I might as well get to a dinner and have the waiter cut my spaghetti for me. There was just something about the way that the girls went through life that just felt more grown up to me. I couldn't help but wonder, has my phone kept me from becoming a fully capable adult? Ready for my carry night out, I needed to call one of the girls. Looking to have fun cocktails and a yap sesh, I knew just who to call. My friend Jordan. I planned on taking the bus because even though I could Uber there from my desktop, I'd need to cheat and ask Jordan to call my Uber home on the way back. But to take the bus, my 2 options were change, as in coins, which I do not have because I'm not an 1800s prospector ordering a whiskey at a saloon, or the public transit app on my phone. Oh, my phone! Shit! I don't know if you guys know this, but I locked my phone away. After a quick search, I saw that you can get a physical tap card in LA at most pharmacies and grocery stores. So I walked over to CVS and couldn't find a tap card anywhere. I asked the manager if they sold tap cards, and he said, we should.
This is what I'm talking about, by the way. The chatter that was like, I don't know why we're so cooked if you don't have a smartphone. Yes, you underestimate how many things we have shoved into our phone for conveniency or for convenience. It's not that you can't do it. You can't, which by the way, arguably in some instances, you can't. If you work like a normal job and you are expected to respond to text from your boss semi-frequently, it will literally, you will get fired. Not every job is like this, but a lot of them are, and you will get fired for not responding to texts. But anyways, So many things rely on your phone. You rely on your phone for so many things that if you just don't have one, if you just have a fucking flip phone, you're fucked on so many things, on so many fronts. Which again, technically you can text on a flip phone, but who the fuck wants to text on a flip? I remember those days. It wasn't fun to click 7 times to get 2 letters on a screen.
But I'm not sure that we do. After confirming that they didn't, he was so helpful and told me you can get them at the train station. I thanked him and said I needed it for the bus. And he goes, oh, you could just get the app on your phone. My dumbass goes, right, thank you. I'm doing this thing where I don't have my phone, but thank you. What the fuck was that supposed to mean?
I have a coworker on my graphic design team that doesn't have a cell phone, just a landline. That's kind of dope. That's kind of a power move.
Anyway, I went over to Ralph's and yet again, no card. Until I asked an employee and she walked me over to their work desk, busted out a dusty fanny pack from a bottom drawer and got me a card. The whole process seemed like there hadn't been a physical tap card purchase in years. This whole ordeal gave me just enough time to get ready and call Jordan to let him know what time to meet.
I did Spirit Halloween for 5 years, finally got out, thank God, but my iPhone was very necessary to organize with the team in the store. Mine broke in the middle of October and it was pure chaos and my boss was pissed at me because I couldn't answer back right away. Yeah, there's a lot of people who work for... the one that comes to mind is all the friends I've ever had who've worked food service, which I am grateful every day that all the tyrants I've ever had at least have been in offices, which is always manageable. But, fuck, dude, food service... Well, actually I had one. I lied. There was one time I worked in a bakery, and that was so dog shit. That was one of the worst jobs I've ever had in my life. That's why I give nothing but love and support for fucking food service workers. And why I say, like, I think they should at least a taser. I think it's within workers' rights that if a customer is annoying enough and you warn them and say, if you keep being annoying, I'm going to tase you. You give them a warning. You read out their Miranda rights, their customer rights. You say you have 1 minute to exit the store or I will tase you. I think they should be able to. Some customers are too annoying. They're just too annoying. I'm sorry. At least let allow the workers to request a duel. Okay? I'm sorry. I will die on this hill. People who work food service are braver than the fucking troops, man. You work food service, I have nothing but respect for you. It's why I tip 20% every time I go out to eat. Because I'm sorry for the people that you have to fucking deal with. I am genuinely sorry for the people that you have to fucking deal with. But anyways.
Awesome. All right. Well, then, hopefully nothing goes wrong. If it gets to be like, too late, just give up on me. I'll go home. Okay. That's true. You're the perfect person for me to fuck this up with. All right. I'll see you there. Next, I headed over to my computer, went to Google Maps, clicked on the transit direction to get to the bar, and wrote down the specific bus routes I'd need to get there. My bus was leaving very soon, so I had to rush out the door. Now, depending on where you are, who you are, and what age you are, I am not recommending that you also travel alone without your phone at night. Smartphones have offered a lot of safety to people who are by themselves, so just know that I wanted to do this, and unfortunately, it's a bit safer for me than for some of you. Look, it's no surprise from my personality, my writing, and my general vibe that I am an overthinker. So on my way to the bus, anxious thoughts were flying by. What if I miss my stop? What if the bus doesn't come on time? What if I get lost and leave Jordan waiting? What if the bus explodes? And
sorry for asking, isn't 20% the normal / minimum amount? I'm from a country where we don't tip, so I don't know. I just thought it's 20. I mean, I would say that most people are expected to tip 15%. I would say that's the normal amount in America. But the reality is that there are so many people that don't tip. Like, if you've talked to food service workers, if you talk to people who've done like waitressing, or waiters or whatever, servers of any kind, so many people will tip like, it's like a fucking $100 bill and they tip like $5. And it's like, thanks. And that's if people tip at all. $15% is like bare minimum, and then like 20 is like, I would say, standard. the bigger issue also is that Americans can't even calculate 15%. Dude, it's like 10% times 2. 10% half plus the 10, whatever.
Normally, I can quell these thoughts by getting confirmation on my phone. But shockingly, without the option to confirm, I was forced to face these thoughts head on. And you know what? It was super fucking easy to ride the bus without my phone. They say the goddamn street names out loud. Why was I worried?
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks. Have a good one.
I got off the first bus, crossed the street to the next stop, and waited for the second. No checking Twitter, just raw dog, no headphones at the bus stop.
This is my problem, by the way. I'm sorry. If I had to go no phone, I would go and buy like an iPod. I don't have my old one. I used to have an iPod Shuffle. I remember saving up for it as a teenager. I was so happy to get an iPod Shuffle. I was like, yes, I saved up. I can buy one. I can't raw dog life with no music. Raw dog in life with no music. Oh, that's brutal. That's fucking brutal. Oh, God.
Hopping on the next, I rode the bus toward drinks. At one point, I wanted to make sure I was headed in the right direction, so I asked a stranger, and he was super nice and helpful. And before he got off the bus, he nodded and fist bumped me. Not quite as good as nervously Googling and having Gemini tell me the wrong fucking answer, but I'll take it. And
Who was the first president? LeBron James.
I'm a tiny little speck in the rear view of the Echo Park Pico Union line. I turned to walk toward drinks. I finally made it there, and lo and behold, agreeing to meet at a place without 5 text updates still works just fine. Jordan and I had a great time, yapping our hearts out. 2 young philosophers in a heated debate, going toe-to-toe in the marketplace of ideas. I, of course, was on the right side of whatever we talked about, and Jordan was in the wrong. But his British accent kept giving his words an authority that made me insecure and angry. Also, we did need to use Jordan's phone to get my bus route back, because I did forget to look it up. Is someone telling me a bus route with their phone cheating? I didn't use my phone, but I sort of used someone else's? I don't know. A few hours and 1 too many cocktails later, Jordan walked me to my bus stop like a true gentleman. It came earlier than expected, and without my knowledge, Jordan captured my dorky ass scurrying to the door. On the ride home, it was really starting to hit me just how normal most aspects of my life felt without a phone. Sure, it was a bit inconvenient, sometimes a little bit dangerous. But is the harm that screen time and algorithms inflict on my brain really worth the convenience it brings? Well, I'll be honest, I've had 1 too many cocktails to find an answer to that. I also was on Metro TV. You guys ever watch Metro TV? It's a show about you taking the bus. You see me there? Look closer. There I am. Every time I've mentioned to a friend that I was getting rid of my phone, one of the first things they'd say would be, "Oh, are you gonna start reading?" First, yeah. Second, I was reading. Okay, not books, maybe. Does it count as reading if I read a tweet from Discussing Film that told me young Sheldon is returning to do a sweepstakes competition for the live-action Minecraft movie?
Mazes, puzzles, panic attacks, you're in charge. Whooping monster butt, that's my purview.
Plus $500 daily cash prizes.
Whoa, oh my.
Watch Young Sheldon weeknights for the word of the day. Text it to 55225 or dig into Young Sheldon.
I can feel my brain melting. I can see, every time I feel bad because I don't feel like I read enough books, I pick up a book, I start reading, and then I remember, wait, I'd much rather just read the original source for this book. Because I don't really read fiction. This is autism. The only fiction I've ever read in my life and enjoyed fully was Twilight when I was a teenager. And every time I've tried to pick up fiction since then, I've never enjoyed it. So like I bought a book. I was in a bookstore with a friend and they were like, you should get this book. I read it. It's really cool. It's about eels. And I started reading it and I was like, this is dumb. I should just read directly on the studies they've done on eels, which I proceeded to do for like 3 hours, just sitting here looking at research papers. And I was like, okay, I think I have a good understanding of this. And then I closed all my tabs and I put the book away. So like, this is the biggest problem that I have with books. I pick them up and then I realize there's all this like extra flair and fluff before they get to the thing that they're trying to talk to you about and explain. So I just go and read what they're trying to explain in the first place, which is like, I think I'm fucked basically. I think I might be cooked. The only other exception to this rule, the only fiction I've ever enjoyed reading has been manga. And that's it, which is not good. I just can't read normal fiction. Most normal fiction is just, I get so bored. Oh, one other exception, I did really enjoy Frankenstein. I don't know what it was, but I think the writing style was just like really nice for some reason. Anyways.
.com.
No biggie.
A Minecraft movie in theaters April 4th.
So you're reading owner's manuals for fun? Lady who's only read Twilight reading her second work of fiction. Getting a lot of Twilight vibes off this. Yeah. What books did you read during during high school? I answered it accidentally. I was reading this Malcolm Gladwell books. That was I thought he was the shit as a teenager. I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. He's like spitting. That's what I read as a teenager. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Because I was getting introduced to concepts I'd never even thought about, right? Like your birth year being, your birth month being linked to the success in your life. That when you look at every single fucking type of pro sport, all like the vast majority of professional players are in the first 6 months of the year. I was like, whoa, that's so cool. And there was so much shit like that in there, right? And then as an adult, you like go back and you take a peek at some of this and you're like, what did you mean by this part? Wait, what did you mean? Wait, you're actually like wrong about this part. Wait. Anyways.
I used to read quite a bit, but as my phone
what I'm
addiction
learning is that you were the single most insufferable person at your high school and present. Don't worry, I balanced it out by having social anxiety, so I never spoke to anyone outside of my very close friends. So I didn't insult anyone else with my presence, okay? My best friends at the time, which we hung out literally every single day, that was peak. That was the best part of school. We would finish classes and then we would go hang out for like 5 hours at a time. And then we would go home every single day, every single school day. That was amazing. That was peak. And also we cut a little bit at the end, senioritis and all that. But anyways, so I'm not joking when I say, when people like insult me by saying, oh, you can tell that she was the mean girl. Oh, you can tell that she peaked in high school. It's like, wait, really? You can tell? Oh. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, you're definitely talking about me. Cutting class. Cutting class. Cutting class. No, cutting class. We would cut classes. Senioritis. No. Oh my God. No, not self-harm. No. Oh my God. Getting you guys worried for a second. No. That did not cross my mind. Sorry. No. We would just skip. We would go to like, they would take attendance in like the first, I think 3 or 4 classes, and then they would stop taking attendance. So we would just cut the rest of the class. And that was great. Anyways,
has developed. Most of the time when I could pick up a book, light a candle, and relax in a chair, I instead choose to burn disturbing world news into my retinas while I sit hunched over my table, or hunched over on my toilet, or hunched over on a bench. But after days of phone detox, I wanted to see how well my attention span fared toward uninterrupted reading. About a year ago, I was at a bookstore with my friend Ian when he mentioned he had recently read the novel Flowers for Algernon. I bought it that day, planning to read it so we could discuss and have a connection over it. And then, it sat collecting dust next to my Wii U for 11 months. Didn't get all the dust, maybe one more blow. Damn, that shit is baked on there. So I lit a candle, got cozy, and began reading. And you know what? It was way easier to focus. I got sucked into the book, and before I broke any concentration, I'd read over 100 pages. Now I had plans that night, so I needed to rush out of the house, but I didn't have a damn bookmark. Oh, perfect. Finally a use for my QR. Later that night, I came back and read another 100 pages. Now, of course, people read a lot with their phones all the time. But for me, that vibration of a text or social media notification or an ad from Uber Eats or Postmates feels like somebody knocking at my window, trying to distract me and get me to stop reading.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, guys. If you try to read, when I do try and sit down and do some reading, nonfiction, because we've already established this, I turn all my alerts off. The only thing you're allowed to do is call me. If it's important, and the cool thing with iPhone is it tells everyone that you have your notifications silenced. And, you know, if it's important, they'll call. If it's very important, you'll call me. If it's not important, you're not going to call me. So, how do people read so fast? Takes me so long to get through some books. I would say don't care about those people, like, because I read, my reading speed depends on how much I'm enjoying what I'm reading. When I don't enjoy something I'm reading or it's kind of boring, I read pretty fast because I just want to get through it as quickly as possible. I just want to get, but when I really enjoy what I'm reading, I take my time. Like, why rush something that you're enjoying, right? You're doing it for your personal pleasure. Take your time. How sad would it be to rush through the entire thing, speed read it, get through all of it, and then it's over? Right? Is there a specific thing about fiction that makes you not like it? It's hard for me to get invested, is the problem. Like, I usually will read like 20 to 50 pages, and if I'm still not invested, I'm like, why am I even reading this? Why am I, like, literally, I could be doing anything else that would be more enjoyable. Okay, whatever. And then I like close the book and I never open it again. But like, who cares, right? I used to only read nonfiction until the last couple of years, yeah. I feel the same way, especially if I miss key plot points. Yeah. I also read The Hunger Games. I read like the first 2 Hunger Games book as a teenager. And at some point, I just gave up on reading fiction. I was just like, whatever. I guess I'm just not a fiction reader. That's okay. I'll revisit this later. But yeah. Anywho, this is a good place to stop, chat. Okay. And then we get to find out what happens 2 weeks in, what happens at the end tomorrow. Little cliffhanger for you guys. I will be heading off for today. All right. I wanted to bring Mayor Cat to give you guys to show you all some love. So thank you everybody for tuning into the stream. Have a great rest of your day. Stay hydrated. Tell your homies you love them. And I will see all of you guys in the next one tomorrow. Bye. See you guys on Shit Saturday. Bye.